Hi, today we are talking with Galen Moore from New Alchemy. Hi, Galen, how are you today?
Great, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So, can you mention a little bit about yourself first for our audience?
Sure. Usually it's good to talk about where and when you started in crypto.
Yeah.
For me, that was about a year ago, a year and a half ago, actually. I started talking with a friend of mine, Peter Vesinis, about the lack of information in the emerging crypto industry and asset class.
Yes.
There are millions or billions flowing in, and not enough information, even about things as basic as the price or the total supply of an asset. So we looked for ways to solve that problem. We developed a variety of products, including an investor newsletter and a kind of baseline data platform called Token Report.
Yes.
And then ultimately have brought that back inside Peter's company, New Alchemy, which is a...
So you started before New Alchemy as a...
so I was working with New Alchemy last year around this time.
Yes.
And we spun out Token Report and ultimately brought it back inside in the spring of 2018 to build the research department of New Alchemy, which has grown a great deal since when I started working with them last year.
So there are two companies here, New Alchemy and Token Report.
So Token Report still does exist as an entity, but mostly we're working as New Alchemy.
Yeah.
Token Report is a brand that we are likely to use as we think about how we can use our database, databases of information, and spin out products that will be helpful toward advancing the investment and technology and offering community.
So, with New Alchemy, you are helping some companies into blockchain or blockchain companies into how to turn their blockchain assets into business models.
That's correct. Yeah.
How they help? Like, can you give us some problem and how you solve this problem?
Sure. One of the main problems that we help solving is token economics.
Yes.
So we think of token economics as how you structure an entire economy around a token, involving multiple pieces of token mechanics, if you will.
Yes.
Right? So a token mechanic could be a required stake in order to take some kind of action in that economy. And the economy is the entire system of staking and exchanging and other types of actions you can take with a currency.
So you are working with blockchain companies. What are the main problems you see in blockchain companies right now they are dealing with, they are challenging?
Yeah, I think, across the board, one of the main challenge you always have to ask yourself as an issuer or a would-be issuer of a token is, why does this asset exist? Why does it need to exist? We think about that globally, and it's very helpful in terms of bucketing what's going on in the market.
Yes.
What is the reason for this asset to exist?
Yes.
For about 60 or 70% of the value in the market right now, the reason for those assets to exist is money.
Yeah.
Right? It's to be money.
Yes.
So I would include Bitcoin, obviously, in that, right? Litecoin, any of the privacy coins, right? Those exist purely to be a medium of exchange, a store of value, any of the things that a fiat currency can be.
Yes.
The second bucket, the second largest bucket, is coins that exist to support a smart contract platform. So Ethereum is the most well-known example of that, but there are now many others that have emerged, and those are basically designed to be a global decentralized computer. And that currency exists as part of supporting that, and it has a reason to be there. And then built on top of those smart contract platforms are what we call network tokens, which a lot of people would maybe refer to as utility tokens. That token has a reason to exist to support incentives and participation in some kind of decentralized network, or maybe a centralized network, in which the value of the token depends on people's good participation in the network. So I think what you see often today, and this I'm no savant for observing this, is that there are many people who are trying to bolt a token onto a network that doesn't really need it to exist. And in fact, in many cases, the token is going to end up getting in the way of people using and adding value to the network. Think about the challenges of building a two-sided marketplace. It's a very difficult business proposition. If you've now put an illiquid digital asset that most people in the world don't understand in front of your entry into that two-sided marketplace, what will that do to your adoption? And if your answer is, well, people will be incentivized because they'll want to have the token, then I say bullshit.
So, as New Alchemy, what differentiates you between the others in the market?
Other ICO advisory firms?
Yeah.
Well, we've been at this a long time. We started, our roots are in the technological side of the business. We started out doing smart contract audits. Our founder, Peter Vesnes, identified vulnerabilities in the DAO.
So, are you involving into the technology side also, or just an advisory? How do you help companies?
We do the full gamut. And I think, as I said, like our core is in technology.
Yes.
We have a great deal of expertise in token mechanics. I think that's one way we stand out.
Oh, yes.
But we also do some of the sort of typical activities that a merchant bank would handle for a traditional security issuer.
Yes.
So, for example,
also legal
branding,
yes.
Marketing. We don't do legal. All of our clients have their own counsel.
So for branding, what do you advise blockchain companies right now, just starting up, if they are just starting up right now? What do you advise them?
Well, I think if you're going to do
branding and PR.
Yeah, I think if you're going to do a good token issuance, you need to build your community. It's probably the most important thing, beyond having a sort of a reason to exist. If you have a good reason to exist and you have the technological capability to build this thing on your founding team, or at least the participation of a good advisor or a services firm that can help with that, then I think the next step should be to test that idea in the market. I mean, you look at Ethereum, for example. The Ethereum white paper was not announced and released until it had already been socialized and a large network of developers had been built up. Right? I believe Vitalik had some 15 developers who were committed to work on the project. Right? The press, such as it was at the time, the crypto press, was much smaller pool than today. Right? Was already sort of engaged and interested and wanted to hear more. So it's very different from the model you see now, where people sort of work, and then build up to a big announcement, expect that the announcement will generate a great deal of buzz. I feel like those days, certainly possible for some projects. A lot of projects are able to build buzz just based on their name alone, the participants, the idea. But I think, in order to, if you sort of come from humbler roots, in order to succeed, you start small.
So how to build community?
How to build community? It's like a really important question, and it's not, in the worst examples, it's a matter of shilling and buying followers and that sort of thing. And don't get me wrong.
It's so common right now in crypto community.
I mean, maybe you need to buy a few just to obtain credibility with your next. You need to buy the first 500 and obtain credibility with your next 5,000. I could see an argument for a founder wanting to do that. But ultimately, you have to be able to gain traction with the 5,000, and they have to be engaged. So this is one of the things we look at very closely. How engaged is this community?
Exactly.
The activity, the social activity around an asset is a very important piece of information. And luckily, we're at a point in technology where social listening is very well understood. So we're able to do that kind of analysis and determine the health and advise our clients, and also pick investments based on that data. But your question was how to build community, and I think authenticity is one of the most important things. We see the most success from projects where the founders are involved. In the community. In the community. They're listening. So
if they are part of the community, then the community is going forward.
It's kind of table stakes. The founders have to be there. You have to have a technical founder who's listening, a product-minded founder who's listening. You can't just sort of outsource your community management.
It's also actually so common right now, outsourcing someone to deal with all the community.
There are things you can outsource and there are things you can't outsource. I'm not really a fan of. We, for the most part, for our clients, we do some product work, and that's a growing part of our business. But most of our technology customers, clients, are relying on us to do the smart contracts for their sale, and that's something we've done many times. Our code is very tight. You lower your risk
Yes.
of unnecessary risk of handling the sale yourself.
Sure.
On something. If you have built up a very good community, that's not something you want to do.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
My
your
pleasure.
time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.